Chosen one, stop everything and hear me clearly. If your eyes are on this message right now, it is not by accident. This is not coincidence. This is not luck. This is divine appointment. God Himself has placed you here, in this exact moment, because there is something urgent He needs you to hear. A spiritual alarm is sounding over your life. And this is not the kind you can hit snooze on. This is a crossroads moment, a split-second decision that has the power to alter your destiny forever. If you choose to scroll past, if you hesitate, you are risking losing what has already been reserved in heaven's storehouse for you. God says it cannot wait. It has to be right now. Think of every prayer you have poured out in the middle of the night. Every tear you have cried when no one was watching. Every battle you have fought when it felt like you were standing alone. All of it has been leading to this precise moment. The dreams you have held onto, the promises you have refused to let go of, the breakthroughs you thought were far off, they are no longer distant. They are standing at your door, knocking. But here's the truth. A door will not open itself. If you do not rise and open it in faith right now, you risk missing the miracle that has your name written on it. This is not just another motivational message to inspire you for a few minutes. This is a divine wake-up call. Spiritual forces are aligning around you, some to push you forward, others trying desperately to hold you back. The heavens are watching. The universe is watching. And yes, the enemy is watching too. This is the moment that reveals who will step up and claim their calling, and who will shrink back into the shadows. If you ignore this, you may remain trapped in the same cycles, watching others step into the very blessings that were meant for you right now. I want you to pause this video and comment the number 999. This is not just a number, it is a prophetic action, a spiritual trigger that unleashes a wave of divine energy for you and for everyone connected to this community. If something inside you is burning as you hear these words, that is your spirit crying out, "This is mine. This is for me." Do not turn away. Do not let doubt rob you. And to everyone who has supported this mission through super thanks, I want to pause and say how deeply grateful I am for you. Your generosity helps keep this message flowing to people around the world who need it desperately. And for those who haven't given, please know this, whether you donate or not. My gratitude for your presence, your prayers, and your engagement is the same. You are part of this movement simply by showing up. If you are not ready, you can stop watching now. But if you are ready, if you are tired of waiting, tired of circling the same mountain, tired of seeing your destiny just out of reach, then keep listening. Because God says the time for delay is over. The clock is ticking. Your moment is here. And when you answer this call, your life is about to overflow with blessings beyond your wildest dreams. God's chosen ones, stop scrolling. This is what you must hear right now. Chosen one, I need you to hear this as if your life depends on it, because in the spiritual realm, it truly does. Right now, heaven's alarm is sounding over your name, and the voice of God is thundering like a clarion call in your spirit. You are standing at a decisive crossroads, and every moment you hesitate, every second you delay, gives destructive forces more permission to invade your life. Do you understand what that means? It means the enemy is not waiting for you to be ready. He is advancing now. This is no ordinary nudge or gentle suggestion. This is an urgent decree from the throne of heaven, a summons that demands your full focus, your undivided attention, and immediate obedience. You have been marked for greatness. anointed to break chains, and entrusted with a mantle. The enemy fears, but as your purpose grows closer to manifesting, those determined to keep you in bondage are attacking harder than ever. Have you felt it? That strange heaviness in your chest, the sudden exhaustion that no amount of rest can fix, the drain on your energy that seems to come out of nowhere. That's not coincidence. That's spiritual warfare. The Lord is cutting through the fog, through the confusion, through the pain to tell you this battle is not only real, it's happening in real time. Think of David standing before Goliath, 1 Samuel 17:45. Not with armor or weapons of the world, but with divine authority pulsing through his being. God didn't give David time to overthink. He gave him the moment to act. Right now, your moment is here. The blessings you have prayed for, the breakthroughs you've been promised, the healing you desperately need, they are on the other side of a spiritual cleansing. You cannot delay. Will you rise in faith and fight? Or will you remain trapped in a battle that was never meant to consume you? God's word to you is clear. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. Isaiah 60:1. This isn't a motivational pep talk, it's a royal command. The window to respond is narrow, and if you ignore this summons, the cost will be far greater than you can imagine. Your peace, your health, your destiny. Look at Harriet Tubman, a woman born into slavery who refused to accept the chains the world placed on her. She didn't wait for perfect timing. She moved when the Spirit prompted her, leading hundreds to freedom despite danger at every turn. She knew delay was death, and chosen one. So must you. Right now, you are in the middle of a war that your physical eyes cannot fully see. The attacks are not coming from swords or bullets, but from something far more insidious, energetic leeches, parasitic forces feeding on your life force. Have you noticed moments when your joy seemed to vanish without reason? When your body felt weak even though your health checked out fine? When your thoughts felt clouded as if something was pressing in on your mind? That is the signature of these spiritual parasites. Scripture warns us in Ephesians 6:12 that our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms. These entities are not random. They target the brightest lights, those destined to shift atmospheres and influence nations. They creep into your aura, latch onto your spirit, and siphon away your energy with relentless hunger. Imagine them as venomous creatures burrowing into the core of your essence, dulling your discernment, clouding your connection to God, and distorting your emotions. Their aim is simple: to silence you before your voice shakes the earth. History is filled with examples of chosen ones who faced invisible battles before their public victories. Think of Winston Churchill, who battled deep depression, his black dog, while leading Britain through its darkest hour. Or Martin Luther King Jr., who endured relentless spiritual and emotional attacks, yet continued to speak life into a divided nation. They understood a truth you must embrace. When your assignment threatens darkness, darkness will try to drain you. But you, chosen one, have something they didn't: this timely warning from God Himself. Even the prophet Elijah experienced such a draining after his victory on Mount Carmel, 1 Kings 19:4-8, collapsing in exhaustion under a broom tree until an angel restored him. Like Elijah, you may be tempted to withdraw, to surrender, up to think it's over, but the Spirit of the Lord is here to feed you strength and command you to get up. Ask yourself, if the enemy is fighting this hard to keep you down, What does that say about the power you hold when you rise? Consider the resilience of Helen Keller, who, despite losing her sight and hearing at a young age, went on to inspire millions. Her life was proof that the greatest victories come when you refuse to let invisible limitations define you. Just as she found her voice in silence, you are being called to find your strength in this storm. And remember the promise of Psalm 18:39, "You armed me with strength for battle. You humbled my adversaries before me." These parasites, these unseen forces, will not stop on their own. They must be cut off at the source. That requires more than wishful thinking. It demands decisive spiritual action. You must cleanse your atmosphere, fortify your spirit with prayer, saturate your mind with truth, and surround yourself with those who carry light. And you must do it now. Delay is not an option, because every moment you wait, they dig deeper. The enemy knows he cannot destroy what God has ordained, so he tries to drain it until you abandon it yourself. But hear this: no weapon formed against you shall prosper. Isaiah 54:17. Will you let darkness feed on you until you forget who you are, or will you rise, sever their grip, and reclaim the fullness of your God-given power? This is your moment. This is your divine appointment, and heaven is waiting for your yes. Chosen one. Have you noticed the creeping fog over your mind lately? A dull haze that makes even the clearest thoughts feel tangled. Have you felt that subtle but unshakable pressure in your body, as if invisible hands were squeezing your nerves and muscles, stealing the ease from your every movement? This is not coincidence. It's not just stress. These are the fingerprints of a targeted spiritual attack, an energetic parasite feeding on your clarity and peace. Your God-given gift of discernment, the ability to see truth and move with confidence, is being stolen and replaced with confusion, distraction, and emotional turbulence. Do you see how strategic this is? Because if the enemy can blur your vision, he can keep you from seeing the doors God has already opened for you. Physically, the symptoms often show before you recognize the source. Strange pains with no medical explanation, sudden weakness even after rest, unexplained illnesses that drain your vitality at the worst possible moments. Emotionally, anxiety creeps in like a silent thief, wrapping your spirit in tension and stripping your joy. It's as if a shadow has fallen over your entire being, making simple tasks feel like impossible battles. But what if I told you this shadow isn't random? It's a calculated strategy to wear you down until you give up on your assignment. The Bible warns us in John 10:10, "The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I have come that they may have life, and have it to the full." That thief is not coming for your material possessions first. He's coming for your clarity. Because once your vision is gone, your direction is next. Think of Serena Williams, the greatest tennis player of her era, who battled injuries and self-doubt while the world questioned her ability to return. The pressure on her body and mind was relentless, yet she fought through, refusing to let invisible battles end her visible victories. Chosen one. You're in a similar position. Your spiritual muscles are under siege, and the fight is not to prove you're strong, but to remember you're chosen. This attack goes deeper than your body. It penetrates the core of your spirit, where your connection to God lives. The voice that once felt so clear now feels faint, as if it's being broadcast from miles away. Your prayers don't seem to hit with the same fire. Your worship feels heavy instead of free. This is the enemy's play to make the divine signal fuzzy, so you start doubting whether God is even speaking at all. But 2 Timothy 1, 7 reminds you, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of a sound mind." That sound mind is your birthright, and it's time to reclaim it. Let's be real, you've been praying, working hard, waiting faithfully for breakthroughs. You've been doing all the right things, yet something invisible keeps blocking your path. That something is not just bad luck, it's an energetic parasite feeding on your blessings and intercepting your breakthroughs like a spiritual thief in the night. Have you ever felt like your progress is on pause? As if you're walking in place while others seem to move forward effortlessly. That's the heavy fog of spiritual sabotage. Picture your life as a powerful river, designed by God to flow with health, provision, and joy. Now picture hidden dams constructed in the unseen realm, barriers that stop the flow, causing stagnation and even flooding your mind with hopelessness. The breakthrough you've been waiting for is not gone, it's trapped behind those blockages until they're removed. What is yours will remain out of reach. But here's the good news. These blockages are not permanent. They can be shattered, and when they break, the release will be so sudden it will feel like the Red Sea parting before your very eyes. Exodus 14:21. Remember when Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison? Every day looked like a blockade to his destiny, yet when his spiritual and moral clarity remained intact, the dam broke, he walked free, and a nation shifted. Your season may feel long, but the moment the blockage breaks, everything changes. You are closer to that shift than you think. Chosen one, you cannot afford to ignore these alarms. Your body's tension, your mind's fog, your spirit's unease, they are warning sirens. If you dismiss them, you risk complete spiritual collapse. Proverbs 4:23 commands, "Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it." Guarding your heart means guarding your energy, your clarity, and your connection to God. This requires decisive action, a spiritual reset that drives out the parasites, clears the atmosphere, and allows the blessings to flow freely again. Think of Malala Yousafzai, who faced an enemy determined to silence her voice. The attack was meant to end her mission, but instead, her testimony became louder than ever. That's what happens when you break the blockage. Your light doesn't just return, it multiplies, and Isaiah 41:10 promises you, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." You were meant for abundance, health, and joy. The enemy's parasitic tactics don't change that truth. They only delay it. But delays are ending. The fog is lifting. And as you act now, the river will flow again. The only question left is, will you let these parasites keep stealing? Or will you rise today and reclaim what is yours? Chosen one. If your nights have become restless, if you find yourself tossing and turning, waking in the early hours, drenched in unease, or haunted by dreams that drain you rather than refresh you, you must recognize this for what it is, a calculated spiritual assault. The enemy knows that sleep is more than physical rest. It is a sacred sanctuary where your body, mind, and spirit are restored. In those quiet hours, your immune system repairs, your hormones balance, and your soul recalibrates to divine harmony. When these energy parasites invade your nights, they are waging war on your healing. Without that restoration, your body grows weak, your mind becomes clouded, and your emotions spiral into chaos. Have you noticed how a string of sleepless nights makes even small tasks feel monumental? It's like trying to run a marathon with no energy left in your tank. That is by design. These attacks aim to break you down in every dimension, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, until you begin to believe you are powerless. The Bible reminds us in Psalm 4-8, "In peace I will lie down and sleep, for you alone, Lord, make me dwell in safety." If God designed sleep as a place of safety, then every disruption to it is an attempt to remove you from his covering. Look at the life of Thomas Edison. Though known for working long hours, even he understood the necessity of intentional rest for creative and mental clarity. Without restoration, even brilliance fades. Chosen one, you are not meant to live in a cycle of chronic fatigue, emotional exhaustion, and spiritual disconnection. You are called to rise in power, not collapse in defeat. Consider how elite athletes guard their recovery time with as much discipline as their training. Serena Williams, for example, has often credited sleep and rest as non-negotiables for peak performance. Why? Because restoration is where strength is rebuilt. Spiritually, you need that same discipline. Every night stolen by these parasites is a night your armor goes unwaxed. Your spiritual sword remains dull, and your defenses weaken. And here is the truth that should shake you. Ignoring this sacred warning is not just risky, it is dangerous. Denial doesn't neutralize the attack, it amplifies it. Each time you choose to shrug it off, you open the floodgates wider for these parasites to tighten their grip. What happens when you leave your front door wide open all night? You invite intruders, chaos, and destruction. Spiritually, that's exactly what happens when you ignore this battle. Ephesians 5:14 say, "Wake up, sleeper, rise from the dead, and Christ will shine on you." This is your wake-up call, and it will not wait forever. Think of someone like Steve Jobs, brilliant, driven. Yet even he admitted that ignoring the body's warning signs can lead to irreversible damage. Spiritually, it's the same. Neglecting your soul's cry for restoration can erode your relationships, your finances, your health, and most importantly, your connection to God. Darkness thrives where vigilance is absent. If you are feeling more irritable with loved ones, losing focus on your goals, or finding it hard to hear God's voice, these are not random struggles, they are signs the parasites are gaining ground. God's discipline in moments like this is not about punishing you, it's about protecting you. His urgency is the cry of a loving father watching his child walk toward danger with the door of safety wide open behind them. Proverbs 3:2 promises, "When you lie down, you will not be afraid. When you lie down, your sleep will be sweet." That sweetness is your inheritance, but it must be defended. Delay is not just costly, it's deadly to your purpose. History has shown us the cost of ignoring warnings. Take the story of the Titanic. Multiple ice warnings were sent, but they were disregarded, and disaster struck. Spiritually, ignoring God's alarm is no different. You risk running headlong into avoidable destruction. The stakes are not small. This is about your spiritual survival, your destiny, and the light you were created to carry. Matthew 5:14 declares, "You are the light of the world. A town built on a hill cannot be hidden. You were chosen for light, not for bondage." So, how much more will you let the enemy steal before you rise? How many more nights will you surrender to unrest before you fight to reclaim what is yours? The damage is not yet irreversible, but the window is closing. Tonight can be the turning point where you draw a line in the sand and tell the darkness, no more. Heaven is ready to restore your nights, your health, and your clarity, but the choice to act is in your hands, chosen one. Now is not the time to waver. It is the time to stand firm, as if your very life depends on it. Because in the spiritual realm, it does. Hear this without distraction. God is not making a suggestion to you right now. He is issuing a command born out of love, protection, and his deep desire to see you walk free and victorious. The forces that have been feeding on you, the parasites that cling to your spirit like invisible chains, can only be destroyed through immediate and deliberate spiritual cleansing. Every moment you delay is not neutral. It is ground surrendered to darkness, permission given to loss, and an open invitation for the enemy to dig deeper into your life. Do you see how urgent this is? This cleansing is not some symbolic gesture you can casually check off a list. It is a sacred act of war, a reclaiming of your body, mind, and soul from the forces that have sworn to see you diminished. It is your weapon, your armor, and your healing balm, all in one. God is holding out the escape route to you right now. A clear and holy path to purify your essence and reignite the divine spark he placed in you before you were born. Will you take it? Or will you stand still while the enemy tightens his grip? James 4:7 says, "Submit yourselves, then, to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you." Submission in this context means obeying the command to cleanse. Even if your logical mind tries to talk you out of it, think of how Joan of Arc, against all odds, obeyed what she believed to be a divine mandate and stepped into battle without hesitation. Her courage didn't come from the approval of those around her. It came from knowing she was under orders from heaven. You, chosen one, are in a similar position. This is your moment of divine orders. Seize it with faith and boldness. God's appointed method for this season is both simple and profoundly powerful: the holy water bath. Don't mistake its simplicity for weakness. This is not about the water alone, but about the divine frequency and the prayer-charged anointing that infuses it. Ordinary water cleans the body, holy water cleans the spirit. By faith and prayer, it becomes a weapon that dissolves parasitic energy and darkness that the natural eye cannot see. 2 Kings 5 tells us of Naaman, the commander who dipped 7 times in the Jordan River at the prophet's instruction and came out healed of leprosy. What seemed like a humble act became the doorway to total restoration. To begin, prepare your bath with water that has been blessed in the name of God. Whether you bless it yourself in prayer or use holy water from a trusted spiritual source, as you step into that water, release all self-consciousness and step in with the intention to war in the spirit. This is not about washing dirt from skin. This is about breaking chains from your soul. Visualize the water as a pure river of light flowing through every cell, every fiber of your being, flushing out negativity, confusion, sickness, and spiritual residue that has taken root. As you immerse yourself, speak life. Pray Psalm 51:10 over yourself. Create in me a pure heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit within me. Let the sound of your voice be a declaration to heaven and a warning to hell that you are reclaiming sovereignty over your body and soul. Ask God to seal your energy in His light and to fortify your spirit against every future attack. See the parasites dissolve into nothingness, chains snapping for lifting, and your aura blazing bright again. Think of Michael Phelps, the Olympic swimmer who uses the water not just to train his body, but to find mental clarity and renewal. In his case, the pool is a place of preparation. In yours, the holy water bath is a place of spiritual restoration. One fuels medals, the other fuels destiny, and destiny, chosen one, is what you are protecting. This act is your reset button, your return to the original purity God intended for you before life's battles left residue on your soul. It is urgent, it is sacred, and it is yours to do. Will you press it now while the window of grace is wide open, or will you let hesitation cost you the very future God designed for you? Revelation 21:6 reminds us, "To the thirsty I will give water without cost from the spring of the water of life." That living water is ready to flow, but only you can step in, chosen one. After you have completed your holy water bath, the instruction from heaven is clear. Step into the light. God calls you to sit under the warm rays of the sun, not as a casual act of comfort, but as a sacred moment of divine infusion. The sun you see in the sky is not just a physical fireball. It is one of God's appointed tools, carrying healing frequencies that penetrate beyond skin and bone, reaching deep into your cells and into the very core of your spirit. As those golden rays wrap around you, picture them like holy fire beams of light, seeking out every lingering parasite, dissolving what the bath began to loosen, burning away every last trace of darkness still clinging to you. Have you noticed how your body feels different when sunlight touches your skin after days of gloom? That warmth is more than heat, it's energy, life, and renewal. In Malachi 4:2, God declares, "But for you who revere my name, the sun of righteousness will rise with healing in its rays." When you step into that sunlight with faith, you are stepping into a divine embrace, one that ignites your energy centers, restores your vitality, and seals the work of cleansing you began in the water. Without this step, the process remains unfinished, like washing a wound, but never applying the medicine. Many ancient cultures understood the sun as a purifier. The Egyptians, the Mayans, and even early Christian mystics would greet the dawn as a sacred appointment. Today, science confirms what the spirit has long known. Sunlight triggers the production of vitamin D, strengthens immunity, elevates mood, and regulates the rhythms of life. Think of Florence Nightingale, who insisted that patients be exposed to sunlight as part of their recovery in the 19th century, long before modern medicine proved her right. God's creation was designed to heal you, and the sun is one of his most direct gifts. As you sit beneath it, let yourself receive without rushing. Feel the warmth seep into your muscles, your skin tingling as your body recharges. Imagine your crystalline energy centers the spiritual command posts within you, igniting like embers catching fire. Visualize the parasites disintegrating, their grip evaporating under the relentless power of God's light. Psalm 84:11 reminds us, "For the Lord God is a sun and shield. The Lord bestows favor and honor. No good thing does he withhold from those whose walk is blameless." That shield is forming around you, even now, as you soak in his radiance. Within you is a crystalline energy matrix, a divine structure, God embedded into your design to govern your frequency and spiritual vitality. When this matrix is clear, you resonate at a frequency that aligns with heaven's flow. When it is disrupted by spiritual parasites, your light dulls, your energy stutters, and your connection to higher realms weakens. But through the partnership of holy water and holy sunlight, that crystalline structure is reactivated, imagine yourself as a crystal prism, pure, radiant, alive, channeling divine light that scatters darkness in every direction. Think of how a diamond, when cleaned and placed under the light, suddenly releases a rainbow of colors. That's your soul right now, being polished, restored, and set back under the brilliance of God's light, so His glory can refract through you. Isaiah 65:8 promises, "The sun will no more be your light by day, nor will the brightness of the moon shine on you. For the Lord will be your everlasting light, and your God will be your glory." Even as you draw from the physical sun, you are aligning with the eternal light source that never fades. As this crystalline process awakens, you will notice the changes. Your mind will grow sharper, decisions becoming clearer as if a fog has lifted. Your intuition will strengthen, guiding you with quiet confidence. Emotional storms will calm, replaced with a steady peace. This isn't magic, it's divine design, reclaiming its rightful order in your life. To sustain this, you must continue nourishing it. Keep your prayer life alive. Speak God's word over yourself daily, and maintain a conscious connection with Him so that your energy remains unimpeded and abundant. Consider the testimony of Nick Vujicic, born without arms or legs, who radiates joy and purpose despite physical limitations. His light shines because his internal frequency is aligned with God, not the circumstances around him. That same alignment is what the holy water and sunlight are restoring in you. John 8:12 seals it. "I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life." I, chosen one. When you obey the divine instruction to cleanse, your body will not remain silent about the change. It will begin to testify. You may first notice a gentle warmth spreading through your arms and legs, a subtle yet undeniable heat that feels like it's radiating from within. This is not mere imagination. It is the evidence of God's energy flowing freely again through places that were once blocked. You might feel a tingling sensation in your skin, almost like the hum of electricity reconnecting to a circuit. That is your spiritual grid powering back on. Your inner life force surging with strength it hasn't known in far too long. Can you already imagine how different your days will feel when this power flows without interruption? Mentally, the fog that once clouded your every thought will begin to lift. Suddenly, the decisions that once felt impossible will seem clear. Ideas will come quickly, but with a grounded purpose rather than frantic energy. Emotionally, you'll feel a weight lifting off your shoulders, an easing of the anxiety that once held you in its grip, a loosening of the tension that wrapped around your heart like chains. Even your sleep will begin to shift from restless, haunted hours into deep, restorative nights where your body repairs and your spirit communes with heaven in peace. Psalm 127:2 reminds us, He grants sleep to those He loves. And when that sleep returns to you, it is one of the first signs that God's healing work is underway. Can you picture yourself waking up, refreshed, ready to live fully in your purpose? Physically, aches and pains may lessen as your body purges toxins and repairs itself. You might wake up one morning realizing the stiffness in your joints has eased, or that the constant tightness in your chest is gone. This is your spirit's way of signaling the transformation has begun. These signs might be subtle at first, but they will grow stronger and more consistent as you continue to protect and nurture your energy. Like the first shoots of green breaking through the soil in spring, they are proof that new life is emerging. Will you celebrate those moments as evidence that heaven's work is unfolding within you? At the center of this restoration lies your spiritual grid, an invisible network through which God's energy, guidance, and protection flow into your life. Think of it like the wiring inside a great city. If the lines are cut, the lights go out, the systems fail, and chaos spreads. Energetic parasites work like saboteurs, severing these lines until you feel isolated, powerless, and disconnected from the very source that sustains you. Through cleansing, prayer, and intentional spiritual focus, you are repairing those lines and plugging back into the power source that never runs dry. When was the last time you felt that unshakable connection to God's power? When you realign with God's divine grid, something extraordinary happens. The flow of grace, wisdom, and strength is restored. Imagine plugging your soul into a generator so powerful that no storm can knock it out. That's what reconnection to God feels like. Philippians 4:13 declares, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That strength is no longer sporadic, it becomes constant. A steady current fueling your life. Peace replaces chaos. Clarity replaces confusion. And divine insight begins to guide you through situations that once baffled you. This sacred bond becomes your ultimate protection, enabling you to navigate life's challenges with courage and unwavering faith. But it must be guarded fiercely. Will you guard this connection like your most valuable treasure? Or will you let the enemy tamper with it again? Divine cleansing is not just about removing what's harming you. It's the catalyst for a transformation so profound, it will ripple through every part of your life. As the darkness is stripped away, your true self radiant, purposeful, and free emerges. You are not the drained, broken person you used to see in the mirror. You are being reborn in light, and that light will touch everything you do. Relationships that were strained will begin to heal because your presence no longer carries the heaviness of spiritual oppression. Your health will rebound as your body responds to the unblocked flow of divine energy. Your mind will become a clear channel for inspiration and heavenly wisdom. Opportunities and blessings will begin to find you without the exhausting chase, because your frequency is finally aligned with the abundance God designed for you. Can you feel the joy of walking into a room and knowing your very presence shifts the atmosphere? This, chosen one, is a spiritual rebirth, a renewal of your covenant with God, and a rekindling of your soul's mission. The road ahead may still have battles, but you will walk it clothed in divine light, armored in truth, and empowered by a strength that no darkness can penetrate. Ephesians 6:11 says, put on the full armor of God, so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. That armor is now being reforged around you, piece by piece. With every act of obedience, will you continue to let God forge that armor? Or will you set it aside and leave yourself exposed? But I must speak plainly. Neglecting this divine call carries a cost you cannot afford. The parasites will not remain idle. If you delay, they will multiply. They will drain your body until fatigue becomes your constant companion. They will cloud your mind until even the simplest choices feel overwhelming. They will weaken your spiritual connection until prayer feels empty and worship feels distant. Neglect invites chaos into your life. Emotional turmoil, financial instability, sickness, despair, and spiritual barrenness. God's protection is a covenant. It operates on agreement, not assumption. He offers His shield, His guidance, and His grace when you walk in obedience. But when you ignore His instruction, you are in effect stepping out from under His covering. Standing unguarded on a battlefield you cannot win. alone. Is that a risk you are willing to take? This is not a threat. It is a loving truth meant to awaken you. Your obedience to God's instruction is more than compliance. It is an act of love for yourself, for your Creator, and for the calling He placed over your life. The sooner you act in faith, the sooner you will see His shield rise around you again. Everything you have been praying for, healing in your body, breakthrough in your finances, restoration in your relationships, revival in your spirit hinges on this moment of cleansing and transformation. What blessing are you willing to miss because of hesitation? Your energy is your spiritual currency, the fuel that drives every dream God has placed in your heart. When it is drained, your vision stalls, your body weakens, and your spirit dims. But when you reclaim it, you open the floodgates for miracles. Doors that have been bolted shut for years will swing open as if they had never been locked. Healing that felt impossible will begin to manifest in ways that defy explanation. Abundance will flow into your life like a river released from a dam, carrying joy and peace with it. Are you ready to open those floodgates today? Think of the story of Joni Eareckson Tada, who after a diving accident was left paralyzed. Her physical energy was limited, but her spiritual energy, rooted in God, became a wellspring of inspiration, hope, and ministry that has touched millions. She could have given in to despair, but she chose to align with God's power grid, proving that when your spirit is connected, your impact is limitless. Will you make that same choice to stay plugged in, no matter what tries to pull you out? Chosen one, this is your moment. Do not tell yourself you'll do it tomorrow, or when you feel more prepared. Tomorrow is not promised, and readiness is a choice you make in faith, not a feeling you wait for. Proverbs 6:4-5 Vance. Give no sleep to your eyes, nor slumber to your eyelids. Deliver yourself like a gazelle from the hand of the hunter. The hunter is already in pursuit. Your deliverance depends on how quickly you run toward the cleansing God has commanded. Will you run, or will you stand still and let the enemy overtake you? Trust his guidance. Move with urgency, and watch as the atmosphere around your life begins to change before your very eyes. The chosen one is rising, and that chosen one is you. The river of destiny is flowing, but you must step into it now. Your life, your purpose, and your very survival depend on it, not next week, not when it's convenient, but in this moment. Heaven has already made its move. The next move is yours. Will you take it? Chosen one. The spiritual power inside you is not small. It is vast, immeasurable, and designed by God to shift atmospheres and impact lives. Yet for many seasons, it has remained locked behind thick layers of energetic toxins and parasitic drains. These barriers have been stealing your vitality, dimming your discernment, and holding you back from living the vibrant, victorious life you were destined for. Can you feel the truth of this in your bones, the sense that something extraordinary within you has been waiting to break free? By cleansing your energy field today, you begin the unlocking process of your full divine potential, a power that has been dormant, patient, and expectant, waiting for your yes. The moment you commit to this cleansing, you are sending a declaration into both the spiritual and physical realms. You are ready to rise. You are telling heaven that you will no longer live beneath your calling. In response, the spiritual armor you wear will be reforged stronger, brighter, and sharper than ever before. This renewed power will not just shield you from attack, it will enable you to soar above daily battles, walk through storms without losing your peace, and manifest miracles that others only dream about. This is the difference between merely surviving and truly thriving. Surviving says, "I made it through another day." Thriving says, "I advanced the kingdom today." Imagine waking up every morning with a body that feels pure, a mind that is unburdened, and a spirit that radiates confidence, peace, and divine authority. How would your choices change if you woke up already filled with God's strength? How much more would you accomplish if your energy was no longer leaking into battles you were never meant to fight? That is the reality waiting for you on the other side of this cleansing if you will only step through the door. Fear and doubt will try to talk you out of it. They will whisper that you can do it later, that it's not necessary, that you're fine the way you are. But fear is a liar, and delay is its weapon. God has given you this moment as a sacred key, one that unlocks not only supernatural strength, but also spiritual wisdom, divine insight, and a deeper intimacy with His plan for your life. This is a rebirth into the fullness of who you were created to be. Will you remain trapped in the draining darkness that has kept you bound? Or will you step boldly into the light of your true spiritual power? One of the first and most immediate effects of spiritual cleansing is the restoration of your energy and the clearing of mental fog. You know that feeling of being completely drained, your body heavy, your mind scattered, your emotions stretched thin. That is the parasite at work, siphoning off your life force. But cleansing is like flipping a master switch. In an instant, you reverse the depletion, and a surge of revitalizing energy begins to flood your body. As the toxins and dark attachments are stripped away, your mind begins to breathe again. You notice your thoughts coming faster and clearer. Focus sharpens. Doubt and confusion no longer have the same grip on you. It's as if your brain wakes up from a long and restless sleep, suddenly able to see your path with clarity for the first time in weeks or even months. Have you considered how much more you could accomplish if this clarity became your new normal? This transformation isn't just mental, it changes how you feel, how you move, and how you show up in the world. Anxiety, stress, and tension ease because your mind is no longer at war with invisible enemies draining your peace. You begin to feel more present, more productive, more tuned in to the divine flow that guides your steps. This restored energy will ignite your motivation, your creativity, and your joy. You'll start initiating projects you once put off, rekindling dreams you had almost given up on. The truth is, mental clarity and restored energy are spiritual gifts. They are not random good days. They are the foundation God gives you when you obey His call to cleanse. They are the fertile ground upon which breakthroughs are built. Why settle for dullness and fatigue when vibrancy is within your reach right now? Breakthroughs do not happen in a polluted spiritual field. When energetic parasites cling to you, they operate like hidden roadblocks, slowing your progress, diverting blessings, and keeping divine favor from flowing unhindered into your life. Cleansing is the spiritual equivalent of removing debris from a river, allowing the water to rush forward in strength and purity. Picture your life as a garden. If pests infest it, the flowers cannot bloom, and the fruit cannot grow. In the same way, your blessings cannot flourish if your spiritual soil is contaminated. Cleansing is the weeding process. It is the tilling of the ground, the healing of the soil, the removal of everything that is choking out life. When you do this, you restore your spiritual garden to a fertile state where blessings can take root and grow strong. Without it, breakthroughs remain stalled, always close enough to see, but never close enough to touch. Can you think of areas in your life right now where you've been praying for movement, but nothing seems to happen? What if the answer isn't that God is saying no, but that the ground hasn't been cleared for his yes? When you cleanse, you issue a spiritual invitation for divine intervention on a whole new level. Doors that have been bolted for years will open with surprising ease. Answers to long-standing prayers will begin to arrive in perfect timing. Solutions will manifest in ways you never imagined, often without the struggle you expected. This is what happens when the flow of God's favor is no longer obstructed. Think of it like a blocked irrigation system in a drought-stricken field. The moment the blockage is cleared, the water rushes in, and life bursts forth. That's what happens in your spirit when cleansing removes the parasites and toxins. Isaías 43:19 declares, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? That new thing is ready to spring up in your life the moment you prepare the ground." This cleansing is not just a personal act. It is a prophetic act. It declares to the heavens and the earth that you are positioning yourself for the next chapter of your destiny. It announces that you are ready for God's miracles to pour in unhindered. It resets the course of your life so that you move forward, not in struggle, but in alignment with divine timing. The question is, will you leave the blockages in place and hope for the best? Or will you take the decisive step to remove every hindrance now? Your breakthrough is not a matter of if, it is a matter of when. And the when is directly tied to your willingness to cleanse. Chosen one, this is the moment to prepare the way, to clear the path, and to let God's supernatural breakthrough flood your life with power, purpose, and peace. Will you take that step today? Or will you let another day pass in the same draining cycle? The door is open, but you must choose to walk through it. Chosen one, you must understand your physical health and your emotional well-being are inseparably linked to the condition of your spiritual energy. When that energy is pure and flowing freely, your body thrives, your emotions stabilize, and your mind becomes sharp. But when energetic parasites are present, they do not simply weaken your spirit, they infiltrate your physical system, sabotaging your body's natural balance and opening the door to fatigue, illness, and emotional chaos. Have you wondered why some days you wake up feeling like life itself is pressing down on you before you've even started the day? That heaviness is not random, it's the invisible drain pulling at both your body and your soul. When you cleanse, you are doing more than engaging in spiritual warfare. You are reclaiming the foundation of your physical health and restoring emotional equilibrium. Imagine opening your eyes in the morning with a renewed vitality that fuels every step, strength that carries you through the day, and energy that no longer burns out by noon. Imagine emotional balance returning to you, anxiety giving way to calm confidence, irritability dissolving into patience, and stress replaced by an unshakable peace. This is not a fantasy. It is the natural ripple effect of spiritual cleansing. Every organ, every cell, every emotion begins to realign under the authority of God's order. Your system, body, mind, and spirit comes back into harmony. And with that harmony comes resilience. This restoration is not optional, it is vital. Without it, you are living on reserves, surviving rather than truly living. But when you are restored, you have the power to fully engage with life, to bring joy into your interactions, and to create impact in the lives of others. Health is not merely the absence of sickness, it is vibrant, flowing energy that fills your body, clears your mind, and saturates your soul. Proverbs 17:22 reminds us, "A cheerful heart is good medicine, but a crushed spirit dries up the bones. Cleansing revives that cheerful heart. Emotional balance becomes your shield, allowing you to remain centered no matter what storms swirl around you. Think of how an accomplished musician tunes their instrument before a performance. If even one string is off, the sound is distorted. Your body and emotions are no different. Spiritual parasites throw you out of tune, while cleansing brings you back into perfect pitch. This act is a form of holistic self-love, body, mind, and spirit united in strength. And when you reclaim that balance, you also reclaim your God-given power to live a long, joyful, and abundant life. Now hear this. Abundance is not random luck. It is the natural outflow of a pure, aligned spiritual frequency. The enemy knows this, which is why energetic parasites work so hard to distort your vibration. They are not just stealing your energy. They are robbing you of your ability to attract the wealth, success, and opportunities heaven has already written in your story. Have you noticed how certain seasons feel like nothing is moving? No matter how hard you try, that stagnation is not because you are unworthy, it's because your spiritual frequency is jammed. When you cleanse, the jam is removed, your vibrational alignment is restored, and suddenly your life begins to operate like a well-tuned receiver picking up heaven's broadcast. Your aura becomes a magnet for prosperity, not just in money, but in divine favor, fruitful relationships, and supernatural breakthroughs. Doors to new jobs, business ventures, and unexpected financial blessings swing wide open. You'll find yourself encountering people who are eager to help you, stumbling into opportunities you couldn't have orchestrated yourself, and walking into rooms where the atmosphere is already prepared for you to succeed. This isn't wishful thinking, it's spiritual law. Galatians 6:9 tells us, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." Cleansing prepares your soil so the harvest God promised can finally grow. Your mindset begins to shift from scarcity to abundance. You stop thinking, "I can't afford this," and start declaring, "God has already provided." You begin to move like someone who understands they are a child of the King, deserving of resources, influence, and opportunity. And the universe under God's authority responds accordingly. Think about Oprah Winfrey, who rose from poverty to global influence. She often speaks about the power of mindset and alignment, how opportunities multiply when you believe you are worthy of them. Spiritually, cleansing is the reset button on your divine financial system. It clears away the fears, lies, and generational blockages that have held you back. It is the moment when you stop living as a spiritual beggar and start walking as a royal heir, chosen one. The process of cleansing is not merely an act of removing what is harmful, it is a spiritual resurrection, a divine rebirth that touches every part of your being. This is not a gentle reset or a slow, hesitant recovery. It is a powerful revival fueled by waves of God's own energy surging into your body, mind, and spirit. Your body, once weakened and burdened by the relentless pressure of energetic attacks, begins to regain its natural strength and vitality, as if life itself has been poured back into your veins. You will not simply feel a little better. You will feel as though the breath of heaven has been breathed directly into you. It will come in waves. One moment, you might notice a sudden surge of strength coursing through your limbs. The next, an unexpected calmness will settle over your heart, easing anxieties that once kept you up at night. You will sense the lightness of a spirit unchained, as though heavy shackles you carried for years have fallen away in an instant. It will feel like shedding an old skin, one that had been suffocating you, leaving behind every weight, every lie, and every invisible chain that held you captive. Isaiah 40:31 captures this perfectly. But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. This isn't just healing, it's resurrection. It is a new chapter written not in ink, but in the light of divine power, spiritually. This revival is the moment your inner compass swings back to true north, reconnecting you with your purpose and destiny. The heavy weight of despair, which once wrapped itself around your soul like a fog, will lift. The fatigue that made even small spiritual tasks feel overwhelming will vanish, replaced with an almost childlike enthusiasm for the presence of God. Your prayers will no longer feel like words bouncing off the ceiling. They will feel like direct conversations with a Father who leans in to listen. You will find yourself hungering for His word, thirsty for moments of worship, eager to step into every assignment He places before you. Your spirit will dance again in freedom, in joy, in unstoppable energy, because you will know without a doubt that you are aligned once more with the heartbeat of heaven. Can you imagine starting your day with that kind of vitality? Can you picture yourself walking into situations that used to intimidate you, now carrying the confidence that you are walking with divine backing? This renewal is the proof that your cleansing is working not just on the surface, but at the deepest levels of your being. It is the signpost that you are stepping into a new chapter of divine strength and spiritual vitality, one that will define the rest of your journey. But the enemy knows the danger of a fully awakened, fully aligned, chosen one. This is why energetic parasites work so hard to cloud your spiritual vision. They don't just make you tired, they blur your ability to see the hand of God at work, to hear His voice in the quiet moments, or to sense His presence in the middle of chaos. They create static on your spiritual frequency so that divine messages get lost in the noise of fear, doubt, and distraction. Have you ever noticed how, in seasons of heaviness, you struggle to discern which way to go, even in small decisions? That is the fog they create. Cleansing wipes away that fog like sunlight burning through morning mist. It reignites your sacred connection with the divine, making your heart once again sensitive to the whispers of God's Spirit. John 10:27 reminds us, "My sheep listen to my voice, I know them, and they follow me." After cleansing, you will hear that voice with a clarity you may not have known in years. You will start to recognize divine signs, unexpected opportunities that align perfectly with your prayers. Moments of encouragement, appearing at the exact time you need them. Scripture verses that leap off the page as if they were written just for you. Your spiritual GPS will recalibrate, aligning you directly with your God-ordained path. This connection will not only guide you, it will anchor you in the storms of life. When circumstances try to toss you into fear or despair, you will find yourself held steady by an unshakable peace. Philippians 4:7 says, "And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." This peace isn't just the absence of trouble, it is the presence of God Himself, standing with you in the midst of it. When your connection with Him is restored, you will no longer face challenges, wondering if you are alone. You will know without question that He is right beside you, leading you through. That confidence, rooted in faith, will become the fuel for every decision you make. You will walk differently, shoulders back, head high, eyes lifted, because you are no longer relying on your own limited strength. You are moving in sync with the limitless strength of the one who called you. And when you move like that, you become unshakable. Your courage rises. Your hope becomes unbreakable. And your vision expands. You stop reacting to life from a place of fear and start responding from a place of divine authority. But I must be clear, this connection, once ignited, must be nurtured. Just as a fire needs tending to keep burning, your spiritual vitality must be sustained through daily discipline. This means making prayer not just an emergency line to heaven, but a constant dialogue. It means meditating on God's word until it shapes your thoughts, your words, and your actions. It means worshiping not just in song, but in the way you live, your life, treating each moment as an offering to the one who restored you. Think of it like an athlete who has recovered from a serious injury. The initial rehabilitation gets them back on their feet, but it's the daily training, the consistent stretching, the intentional discipline that keeps them strong. Your cleansing is your rehabilitation. It gets you out of the bed of spiritual weakness, but your ongoing practices will keep you standing, running, and soaring. When you live in this renewed state, you begin to notice how different your life feels. That knot of anxiety in your chest loosens, the mental clutter that once distracted you clears. The fatigue that made you dread the day is replaced by a steady current of energy. Your words carry more weight because they are spoken from a place of alignment with truth. People will start to notice it. Too, they may not be able to name it, but they will see the light in your eyes, the peace in your presence, and the authority in your steps. And here is the beautiful part. As your connection to God strengthens, your capacity to hear Him in the everyday moments grows. You will start to catch the small divine nudges, a sudden thought to reach out to someone, an unexpected idea that solves a problem, a shift in your spirit warning you away from danger. You will see these for what they are, direct guidance from the Holy Spirit, designed to keep you in step with your destiny. Proverbs 3:6, promises. In all your ways, submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. When your connection is strong, those straight paths become clear and unmistakable. This is why cleansing is more than just removing darkness. It's about restoring light. It's about realigning your heart with God's, so that His wisdom flows freely. His peace guards you constantly, and His presence becomes your daily reality. It is about returning to that place where you know you are loved, guided, and protected. Chosen one. I have to ask, what could your life look like if you walked every day in that kind of renewal? What doors would you have the courage to knock on? What dreams would you finally chase without fear? What battles would you win because you knew you weren't fighting alone? The truth is, the version of you that God sees, the strong, joyful, clear-minded, purpose-driven you is waiting on the other side of your obedience to cleanse. So nurture this renewed connection like it is the most precious treasure you own, because it is. It is your lifeline, your anchor in storms, your compass toward destiny, and your constant source of power. Feed it with prayer, strengthen it with the word, protect it from compromise, and watch as it sustains and propels you into everything God has promised for your life. This is your resurrection moment. And once you step into it fully, nothing will ever be the same. Chosen one. When you cleanse and restore your spiritual frequency, something extraordinary happens. You unlock a direct, unimpeded flow between heaven and your life. It's as if a dam that's been holding back a mighty river of blessings suddenly bursts, and the waters rush toward you with unstoppable force. Your prayers, which once seemed to hover unanswered or move at a snail's pace, will begin to manifest with remarkable speed. Why? Because your purified energy now resonates in perfect harmony with God's will. The static is gone. The interference is cleared. The spiritual blockages that slowed your miracles have been dismantled, and the pathway for divine power is now wide open. In this state of alignment, you will witness breakthroughs that defy natural timelines. Doors that had been bolted for years will swing open without you forcing them. Long-standing conflicts will dissolve with surprising ease. Healing, physical, emotional, and spiritual, will ignite in ways that feel almost instantaneous. Opportunities you didn't even know existed will emerge, as if they've been waiting in the wings for this exact moment. You'll find yourself in divine appointments, conversations, meetings, and moments so perfectly timed that you will know they were orchestrated by heaven itself. Isaiah, she's and gefenventischen promises. Before they call, I will answer. While they are still speaking, I will hear. This is what it looks like to walk in divine alignment. God is not just hearing you. He's already moving on your behalf before the words fully leave your lips. And yet, I must tell you, this acceleration is not only about receiving the things you have asked for, it is about something far greater, deepening your trust in the one who gives them. Each answered prayer will not just meet a need, it will teach you something about the character of God. You will begin to see him not as distant or slow to respond, but as deeply attentive, intimately involved, and infinitely generous. This shift will transform how you pray. Instead of approaching prayer with a vague hope, you will step into it with bold expectation, knowing that you are partnering with a God who delights in fulfilling his promises. Think about Peter in Acts 12, imprisoned and chained between two guards. The early church prayed fervently for his release, and in the middle of the night, en englepia, the chains fell off, and Peter walked out past the guards unnoticed. That was divine acceleration, deliverance without warning, breakthrough without delay. When your spiritual frequency is restored, you become the kind of person God moves for, in the same way, swiftly, decisively, supernaturally. But I want you to hear this. Acceleration requires stewardship. It is one thing to receive blessings quickly. It is another to handle them wisely. As your prayers are answered faster, your responsibility to remain humble, grateful, and obedient grows. These sudden blessings are not random windfalls. They are assignments, tools placed in your hands for a greater purpose. They are meant to strengthen your walk, expand your influence for good, and testify to God's goodness in a way that draws others to him. Will you be ready to steward what arrives? Will you handle it in a way that multiplies the blessing instead of letting it slip away? As this new rhythm of answered prayer unfolds, you will notice something beautiful. Your faith will become self-reinforcing. Each manifestation will fuel your belief for the next one. Your spiritual confidence will grow not in yourself, but in God's faithfulness. You'll stop doubting whether he hears you, because you will see the evidence in real time. You'll stop questioning if your prayers work, because your life will become the proof. Mark 11:24 declares, "Therefore I tell you, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it, and it will be yours." That belief will no longer feel forced, it will feel natural, because you have experienced its truth firsthand. And here's the mystery that many overlook. The speed of these blessings is not random, it is a sign of intimacy. When God responds quickly, it's because your relationship with him has deepened to the point where there is no resistance in the flow between you. You are no longer praying from a place of fear or desperation, but from a place of alignment and trust. You're not pleading as a stranger might. You're conversing as a beloved child who knows their Father's heart. That is the power of walking closely with God. You begin to sense what He wants for you, even before you ask. And your desires naturally align with His will. So I must ask you, are you ready for prayers, answered in ways you never imagined, faster, clearer, and more powerfully than anything you've known? Are you prepared to see the supernatural become your new normal? This is the season where waiting years for change will no longer be your story. This is the season where someday turns into today. But it all hinges on one thing: your willingness to cleanse, align, and remain faithful in the flow. Chosen one, be patient, but be expectant. Expect the sudden phone call with good news. Expect the email that changes your career. Expect the healing that the doctors can't explain. Expect relationships to be restored, finances to turn around, and opportunities to arrive without struggle. Live each day ready to receive. And when it comes, testify so that others can see the goodness of God in your life. The more you honor Him with your faith, the more you will see His power work directly in your story. And this, beloved, is just the beginning of what divine acceleration looks like when heaven and your spirit move in perfect agreement. Beloved, chosen one, as we come to the close of this message, I want you to fully grasp the magnitude of what happens when you choose to cleanse your energy field. This is not just a refreshing spiritual exercise, it is a holy activation, a commissioning of heaven's forces on your behalf. In the unseen realm, something shifts. God Himself begins to wrap you in what I can only describe as a fortress of light, a divine shield that surrounds you on every side. This is not symbolic poetry, it is real. Supernatural protection that actively repels negativity, evil influences, and every form of energetic assault that once had easy access to you. When you live under this covering, you walk differently. There is a profound, unshakable peace anchored in your heart. Fear begins to lose its grip, because you know deep down that you are not walking unprotected through the battlefield of life. Instead, you are moving forward like a soldier equipped with the most advanced armor, every step guided by the one who cannot lose a battle. Even when storms rage around you, you will feel that fortress of light holding steady. Psalm 91:4 says, He will cover you with His feathers, and under His wings you will find refuge. His faithfulness will be your shield and rampart. That is the reality you step into when you say yes to cleansing and alignment. This shield does more than guard you, it strengthens you. The spiritual gifts God placed within you become sharper, more precise, and more powerful. Your discernment will cut through deception before it has a chance to take root. Your voice will carry an authority that shifts atmospheres when you speak. Your prayers will carry more weight, shaking loose blessings, not only for you, but for others God has called you to intercede for. You will no longer be an easy target for spiritual parasites or energetic attacks. Your light will burn so brightly that darkness will think twice before approaching. And perhaps one of the most beautiful changes is this: you will stop living in constant reaction to battles. Instead of spending your energy putting out fires started by the enemy, you will start advancing with purpose, building what God has called you to build. Your life will move from survival mode to kingdom expansion mode. You will not just hold the ground you have, you will take new territory. But beloved, I also want to be honest. This shield is not a one-time installation that you can forget about. Just like a fortress must be maintained, your divine shield requires ongoing alignment with God's will. That means continuing the practices we've talked about: cleansing, prayer, worship, staying in the Word, because these are the tools that keep your protection strong. Neglect opens small cracks, and small cracks can become doors for the enemy. This isn't meant to make you afraid. It's meant to remind you that your vigilance is an act of love for the life God has entrusted to you. If you've walked with me through this entire journey in today's message, I want to pause and thank you, not just for listening, but for leaning in with your whole heart. Thank you for valuing the truth enough to stay present through every revelation and every challenge this word may have stirred in you. I know there are countless voices you could listen to, countless distractions fighting for your attention. And the fact that you've spent this time here with me means more than you know. To those of you who choose to go one step further and support this work through Super Thanks, I want you to know that your generosity is never taken lightly. Every donation helps me continue creating, sharing, and spreading these messages to people who desperately need to hear them. It's not just about keeping the lights on, it's about keeping the light shining in dark places. But please hear me clearly, whether you give or not, my gratitude for you is the same. Your presence, your prayers, and your willingness to walk this spiritual path alongside me are treasures I value deeply. You are part of this mission simply by being here. If you do feel led to give, know that you are sowing into fertile ground that produces transformation, restoration, and breakthrough, not only in your life, but in the lives of many others around the world. And if you're not in a position to give right now, your faithfulness in showing up, engaging, and living out these truths is just as powerful a contribution. You matter here. Before we close, I want to speak a blessing over you. May the fortress of light that God is building around you today remain unshaken by any force of darkness. May your heart be saturated with peace so deep that no storm can disturb it. May your steps be bold, guided by divine wisdom that keeps you in the center of God's will. May your spiritual gifts awaken to new levels, empowering you to be a light in places where others have given up hope. May every plan of the enemy against you be scattered before it even reaches your door, and may you walk each day knowing you are deeply loved, fully protected, and eternally chosen. I bless your mind with clarity, that you may hear God's voice without interference. I bless your body with health and strength, that you may have the energy to pursue every assignment God places in your hands. I bless your spirit with unshakable faith, that you may trust God fully, even when you don't see the full picture. I bless your home with unity and protection, that peace may dwell there continually. And I bless your future with open doors, divine opportunities, and unexpected favor that confirms God's hand is on your life. As you move forward from this moment, remember, cleansing was the first step, but walking in that new level of protection and power is a daily choice, every day. You have the opportunity to live under the shield of God's light, to walk in the confidence of His covering, and to shine so brightly that darkness cannot approach you. This is your inheritance as His chosen one. So go boldly, live fearlessly, protect your light fiercely, and never forget you are walking in a fortress built by the hands of the Almighty, a place where no weapon formed against you will prosper. This is your season to move without hesitation, to speak with authority, and to live with the peace that comes from knowing heaven is backing you up in every step. Thank you again, beloved, for walking this path with me today. I am honored to pour into you, to stand with you, and to believe with you for the miracles, protection, and destiny that are already unfolding in your life, whether through your prayers, your comments, your donations, or simply your presence. You are part of something much bigger than yourself, and I am grateful beyond words to have you here. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May he lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace today, tomorrow, and for all the days to come. Amen.